All right, joining me via Zoom. Very excited to have this gentleman, two-time national championship winning coach at Villanova. And within the last couple of weeks, 6 weeks or so, an Olympic gold medalist and now a basketball Hall of Famer this coming weekend in Springfield, Mass. Coach Jay Wright, how you doing?
Hey, Aaron, good to talk to you, buddy.
So, first of all, when I just say that, Hall of Famer gold medalist, I mean, how does it feel? I mean, you and I have talked in the past before. I mean, you start at the University of Rochester. You have all these stops along the way. You've obviously been at Villanova for a while. But let's start with the Hall of Fame. I mean, you're going in here in just a few days. You will forever be kind of, part of basketball and college basketball history with all the all-time greats. What does it feel like to realize that Jay Wright's name and Villanova basketball to an even larger degree is going to be in that Hall of Fame in Springfield forever?
I don't know if I've really got my head around this yet, Aaron. It was surreal, that weekend in the spring that we went up there when the 20 class was inducted and they announced our class, and just to be there with all those guys for a couple of days there, you're just walking on cloud nine and you're kind of out of reality. Then you come back and it's right back to recruiting and talking to 16-year-olds about begging them to come to Villanova, and you're working with freshmen on the court who aren't listening to you, and you're right back humbled again. And I'm coming off the Olympics where I was an assistant coach, very humbling. So I think when we get up there this weekend, I think it'll get back to that kind of dreamland. It's something that's just incredible to experience, and you almost can't believe you're going through it.
Everyone has kind of their own plan, their own this, their own that. I mean, are you having a bunch of ex-players, family, friends? I mean, it's obviously a celebration of not only your career, but Villanova basketball, all the people that I know helped you get to this point. I don't want to give away any spoilers for the evening of the 10th and the 11th, but anything special planned with the guys and girls that have helped you get here?
It was a really strange challenge that you kind of feel like it's a wedding. Like you want to invite people, you want to show your appreciation and your recognition that they were a big part of you getting here, but you don't want to put that pressure on them that they feel like Jay invited me, now I got to go up there for the weekend, because so many people would just they would do it out of respect, So we kind of opened it up for our players if they asked. They were welcomed and given a ticket, and some of our former players, and then my former college coach and Mike Neer, the guy that gave me my first job, and my high school coach, obviously my mom and dad, those kind of people are going to be there. So it's going to be, and we'll have a good Villanova contingent there. They're a loyal group. And I like that you said it that way, Aaron, that I do feel like Villanova is being inducted into the Hall of Fame. I've obviously been a big part of my life, and my wife's a Villanova grad, and I'm really happy for the basketball program that Villanova is going to be a part of this forever.
Coach, I don't want to date you, but, you got a big birthday coming up here in a few months. I mean, how cool is it that you just said your parents will be able to experience that with you. How cool is that? Incredible,
man. Incredible. And my dad's probably the most excited person about it. He's really fired up. And he's going on, he's like 88 years old. So it's pretty cool that he can be there. And we're really excited about that as a family that my mom and dad are going to be able to be there.
Fantastic. What about this summer? I mean, probably the first time I would assume or think that you've been an assistant coach in a long time. I mean, I assume it's the first time Steve Kerr's been an assistant coach in a long time. Greg Popovich, obviously leading Team USA. One thing I even remember dating back to Coach K when he kind of took over the program, whatever it was, 15 or so years ago now, him talking about the experience of learning from the NBA guys. What was it like for you to not have to come up with every play call, game plan, rotation, and to be able to sit back and absorb what these great players and these great coaches that you were around, being able to experience that as well?
That was a great part of it. It really was. You just, you felt like you were around basketball royalty, and you just had so much to learn. And this was a unique situation because we were quarantined the whole time. We were together every day for 37 days, same room, sat in the same seats, ate breakfast, lunch, dinner, watched our film together, same room, drank wine at night together, same spot. And we were sharing life stories, basketball stories, family stories. You learn so much. And same thing with the players. We practiced every day, which you wouldn't do all the time, but because we were quarantined in our hotels, we felt like, it was better for them to get out of the hotel and just get in a gym. It was the only time we could really get out. So we were in the gym every day. And when practice was over, we'd sit around in the gym because we didn't want to go back to the hotel. We talk basketball, talk strategy with the players, and hang out. And really, one of the great learning experiences I've had, and really one of the most gratifying athletic experiences I've ever had, comparable to national championships, because it was such a difficult road, even though it's not supposed to be for USA basketball. It was. And I know no one wants to hear about that, and I get it, but there was a lot of challenges, and we all felt it. So we really felt like we bonded going through it.
Two-part question. Kevin Durant's a guy, I've gotten to know Coach Barnes a little bit, who obviously coached him at Texas. And Coach Barnes talks about his work ethic dating back to 17, 18 years old. One, what was it like to be around him every day? I mean, I've said, like, this is a guy that had every reason to opt out of the Olympics coming off that injury a year and a half ago. And it's clear that he just loves basketball and loves to hoop. So what was it like to be around him? And then is there anything that you can take from, whether it's him or those other guys, of just, you got a 18, 19-year-old in the gym that doesn't want to practice or doesn't want to do that. And you can now say, look, I was around Kevin Durant for 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I was around Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, and they do X, Y, and Z. And there's no reason that you guys can't do the same.
You're absolutely right about Kevin Durant. In 2019, when we had the World Cup team, I can't remember if he was injured or something happened. He wanted to play for that team. He couldn't play. And he came and spoke to the team before we left for Australia. And I remember thinking, wow, man, this guy's a basketball aficionado, not just a talent, but he knows the game. He understands motivation. He cares about USA basketball. I remember we were out in LA. He came all the way out to LA to talk to the team, and then working with them on this trip. He was the heart and soul of this team, and he was there from day one. We had guys, that tested positive that we lost. We had guys that, that came in late from being in the NBA finals, but Kevin was the rock every day. And to see him in practice every day, as I said, we practiced every day. And then he's got this routine, this shooting routine that, we didn't have ball boys or managers because of COVID. We couldn't have extra people around the team. So myself and Steve Kerr and Lloyd Pierce, we were the ball boys, man. We were rebounding and passing for these guys, which was fun. But, you did it with Kevin many days, and you saw his attention to detail and his professionalism. It was incredible. And I think generally with all the guys I've shared with my players here, that you've got to understand their commitment, the way they take care of their bodies, how much they sacrifice to do that, being away from their family for 37 days, and how much they love the game, and how they each have their, they come in practice, but then they have their own routines to get their own shooting in. They're doing more than just practice, just games, their preparation and game plans. And they're the best in the world. So if they're doing that, how much better do we have to be to keep up with them?
Very good. Couple questions about your team, and we'll get you out of here. The first one, I'm going to date myself a little bit now. So I am a UConn guy, and I was there in 06. when UConn and Villanova traded #1 back and forth for many weeks in a row. And this is not, relive the glory days for me kind of deal here, but, that was really the time where it was before this kind of pace and space that we live in now. But you had Kyle Lowry, Randy Foy. I'm blanking on a name or two, but Mike Nardi, yeah, he's with you now, right, as an assistant coach. And so
exactly.
Tell us how, because it wasn't by design, and I don't want to say, you reinvented basketball or anything, but now seeing 4 guards out there the way that Baylor played or the way that Gonzaga played, I mean, that's stuff that you guys were doing 15 years ago. So I was thinking about that as I was prepping, thinking about the games at Gamble and the games in Philadelphia. And, I just want a little story time with Coach Wright, to be honest.
They were some great games, man. I remember when they were #1 and we beat them here at the Wells Fargo Center in Philly, and then we had to go back. And I knew that was not going to be pretty, not with Calhoun's teams, man. And they were ready, man. We do that little handshake, before the game, and they didn't shake hands. I was like, oh, these guys are on another level for it. And we had a bloodbath up there. They got us up there, but they were some great games. Those UConn teams were incredible. But you know what, Aaron, we in 05 we spread the floor with 3 guards, and Curtis Sumter was like a stretch 4, and that was kind of rare in that time. And remember, UConn used to always have the 2 bigs, man, and that was the battle. Like when we got them at the Wells Fargo Center, we spread them out. And when they got us, they pounded us on the glass. And Curtis Sumter in 05 in the NCAA tournament tore his ACL. And we had a couple of young big guys, and we had Kyle Lowry as a freshman coming off the bench. And we thought, you know what, we want Kyle Lowry out there as much as we can. So we're just going to start him. And we started Kyle Lowry at 6'1", Mike Nardi at 6'1", Randy Foy at 6'4", Alan Ray at 6'3", with Jason Frazier at 6'9", and we played 4 guards, and we played Carolina in the Sweet 16, lost by 1, and they went on to win the national championship. We thought, this is pretty good, man. It really wasn't the plan, but we like playing this way. And then when we started 06, Curtis Sumter tore his ACL again, so we just went right back to it, and we played the season that way, and then we've stuck with that ever since.
Very good. Well, bringing it full circle to this year, the one-time exemption rule, you guys maybe got more advantage out of that than anybody. For people who don't know, you had 2 guys that were set to graduate, maybe frankly by technicality have graduated, but get the extra year, Colin Gillespie, Jermaine Samuels. What were those conversations like? How did you end up getting them back, and how excited are you to have them for another year? Because I don't want to speak for you, but it feels like it changes the trajectory of the team just having 2 more vets back from what was already a really good team last year.
I agree, Aaron. I mean, we were planning on not having them, obviously, and we still thought we would be a good team, and getting them back, their talent level, their experience, their maturity, their leadership is monumental. And as far as the conversation, both Jermaine Samuels played last season with a broken finger. And so when the season ended, he had to have surgery, and he didn't want to go. He's just now, coming around to form. So he knew he would have missed NBA Summer League. He would have been he couldn't go to workouts because he had surgery. And Colin Gillespie, as everyone knows, hurt his knee. And he was going to be in the same situation, wouldn't be able to go to NBA workouts, wouldn't really be at 100% maybe until October. He didn't want to start his NBA career that way. Both of them are close friends. They had a chance to come back. So they both told me pretty early they were coming back. And that was an early Christmas present. Those 2, that was a thrill for us. And it gives us great depth and great leadership this year.
I know obviously you were away. You just mentioned 2 of your veterans did not practice during the summer. What do you expect? I mean, I know it's super early. I know you probably weren't part of a lot of the summer workouts like you normally would be, but I would have to imagine, I believe it's 4 starters back off a Sweet 16 team that won the Big East championship, probably had a much higher ceiling if all those injuries hadn't happened. I mean, how excited are you to get all these guys back and kind of get to work over these next few months?
We are. We're fired up, and it's interesting because guys like Jermaine and Colin, who have been around, they've been out for a long time with the injury, so they're kind of excited to be playing again. It's rare to have a 5th-year guy like in the month of August or September ready to be excited to play. But they've been out for so long, and so and we got some good young guys too that are really. They got a lot of attention this summer by our assistants who did a great job because the older guys were out, and injured. So it's shaping up that we've got good depth and we've got good leadership and experience. You got to play the season, you never know, but we're definitely fired up about it.
Last question. You kind of just mentioned 5th-year guys, and I was thinking about this in the lead up to the interview. You guys have kind of made your program off development and red shirts. And, you go through the list. I mean, I don't remember everybody, but Dante DiVincenzo, I know, took a red shirt. I mean, guys that are really good now, NBA players. Has any of your approach changed or your staff's approach changed with the one-time transfer rule, with everything going on in college hoops right now? Because, you guys are kind of a program that have made your bones off. Take your time, development, be patient. And, I don't want to stereotype or generalize and say that nobody's patient anymore or anything like that, but it's obviously a new world and it's changed. And I'm just curious how you guys have kind of adapted to what you guys do on a day-to-day basis.
We are still looking for guys that want to develop, that come into college thinking, I want to mature, I want to grow intellectually, and I want to grow my game, and I want to go into the NBA ready. Like, I want to know I'm ready. With that said, you mentioned it. There's so much change with the one-time transfer, with NIL. The world's changing. So we have to be open, and we are, to how that affects how we have done things. We can't just say, all right, we've had success doing it this way, we're going to stick with it. We're open to, we really haven't been a program that's had a lot of transfers. I think we got to be open to that. With the NIL, how's that going to affect, maybe some more one and done guys might want to stay in college next year because they're making money. Who knows? So we've got to be open to it all. So this is a time where we're kind of monitoring everything that's going on and being ready to adapt.
Very good. Coach, I could talk to you all day, but I know you got other interviews. It's a busy couple weeks. Congratulations on the success. Hall of Fame coach, Jay Wright, Olympic gold medalist, and of course, 2-time national champion. I appreciate your time, Coach. Hope to do it again soon, and best of luck as we get closer to the season.
Thanks, Aaron. Great talking to you, buddy.